To give you an indication of the kind of messages they were sending to each other, these two nurses, these were on WhatsApp that the police uncovered. Hudson wrote about one of her victims: "I sedated one of them to within an inch of her life, lol. Bet she's flat for a week, haha." Her colleague responded that, "I'm going to kill bed 5. Wilmot responding, "Well, tonight, sedate him to high heaven, lol. Already in my head to give him double." This was the kind of thing that they were sending to each other.
Catherine Hudson's been found guilty of unlawfully drugging patients at Blackpool Victoria Hospital. The jury also convicted her of conspiring with a colleague, that's Charlotte Wilmot, to sedate a third patient. Let's hear more from Alex Dibble, the Deputy Editor of News at Times Radio. Alex, hi.
Hi.
Extraordinary case. Tell us more.
Yeah, remarkable case. This happened in Blackpool, at the Blackpool Victoria Hospital, over about a year and a half, between 2017 and 2018. And it appears that this nurse, Charlotte Hudson, and a more junior colleague of hers that you mentioned there, Charlotte Wilmot, had grown frustrated with some of the patients on the stroke unit that they worked on, and wanted essentially, for an easy life, for an easier working environment, to sedate them so that they would be not able to respond to them as nurses, and they would just not have to deal with them as people, and that therefore they gave them sedatives, but the court heard that these were very, very risky, that one sleeping pill, for example, that they administered to an elderly patient, if administered incorrectly, could have resulted in death. And therefore, that's one of the reasons why they've been told by the judge that they could expect and should expect an immediate custodial sentence.
Well, I mean, the verdict seems that we can say, can't we, what a horrifying case. And the scale of it, I mean, on what scale were they dispensing, improperly, illegally dispensing these drugs to patients?
Well, the jury has convicted them of administering these to a number of patients, and actually, crucially, we should say, they were found not guilty of administering them to 2 others, but certainly there was a pattern. And the concerning thing for the hospital is that concerns were raised, for example, a daughter of one of the elderly patients who had been the subject of WhatsApp messages between these 2 nurses, actually complained on a number of occasions, and the court heard that nothing had been done. So massive lessons to be learned. But yes, as you say, that there was definitely a pattern. It wasn't just an isolated incident.
Right. So sentence to follow. Did the judge give any indication of what he might have in mind, or she might have in mind?
The indication was that Hudson should expect an immediate custodial sentence, and that Charlotte Wilmot, her junior, should expect a custodial sentence too. Those sentences will be happening on the 13th and 14th of December. The judge indicated it was just a question of how long they're going to spend in prison. But just indication of the kind of messages they were sending to each other, these 2 nurses. These were on WhatsApp that the police uncovered. Hudson wrote about one of her victims: "I sedated one of them to within an inch of her life, lol. Bet she's flat for a week, haha." Her colleague responded that, "I'm going to kill bed 5. Wilmot responding, "Well, tonight, sedate him to high heaven, lol. Already in my head to give him double." This was the kind of thing that they were sending to each other. They said in court that this was just banter, and the consequence of working on a ward which was understaffed, and it was never meant to be taken seriously. The prosecution said it was indicative of criminal behaviour, and the jury agreed.